This week's video is about this issue. My guess it's the alternator. We'll check it's got its it's got the charging signal, and if so, we'll replace it. First things first, we're just going to check the two batteries. We've got the little starter battery and the main battery. Currently on the main battery we are down to 11.6, so that's obviously low, and here we've got nothing at all. Now the auto start, stop start mode, hasn't been working for ages, and we just used to turn it off anyway. We didn't like using it, so I think this battery's had it, and maybe that's where all the charge is going. So what I'm going to do is we'll check this. Pretty sure it stays. We'll check this, see what happens when it's running, and then we'll disconnect this and see if it makes any difference. So I've just loosened this off. Pull that off now, out the way. Just going to measure if there's any volts across there at all. Absolutely nothing. Okay, start the engine. Okay, engine's running. Going the right way. Still not getting any charge. 11:02. Nothing there. Nothing there. Interesting. So this is the back of the alternator, just here. So there's the 12 volts to it. I have pulled out the I've pulled out the plug here. There is only one wire, and this is the you should get like a pulse width modulation to drive the exciter in the alternator. So what we'll do, we'll set up a scope to look at that signal, check that we're getting the plus volts here too as well, because there's a big fuse in between, sort of like a 150 amp fuse or something. Check that that is 12 volts. Check that we're being told to drive the alternator anyway, and then have another look, with it running. A couple of little nicks in this cable, so yeah, we'll check that that pin is actually getting a signal. So here's a scope I've had for donkey's years. Nowadays you can just get like a small, handhold scope for 40-50 pounds. That will do exactly the same thing, but this is what I've got this. I'm not going to buy something else. So I've got probes right down there, got a little bit of wire that's actually pushed into the plug, and then we're clipped onto that wire, and we've got a ground point on the engine. So let's start the engine and see what we get. I've changed to a different probe, so you can definitely see now it's getting a signal. It's being told to generate electricity, but it's not doing that. So I do believe the alternator's broken as well, but potentially because that battery at the back. So I'm going to change the battery and change the alternator. So I've replaced this battery, this little one. Remember to take this out of the old one before you get rid of it, so that you can connect that up there. There you go, connect that up there. It also connects to the battery here, so you might, this larger battery. So make sure you put that back on, because that sort of like lets the fumes out. So now we should have a good working like standby battery, whatever it's called. Okay, so this large battery was charged overnight. Currently saying it's 12.7. and the small battery, which has just arrived, new replacement, is 12.57. Let's start the car, see if it makes any difference, if it charges. Oh, that doesn't look good, does it? If that's 12.04, it's not going up at all. 12.57 is the same. See if I can rev it and see if that goes up. Okay, so it's a couple of days later. Changing the little battery didn't change the no charging issue. I looked about online. The little auto factors could sell me one for £230, something like that. But online at Starter Motor and startermotoralternator.co.uk offered a refurbished one for £155 with a £30 core refund if you send it back. It comes with a DPD delivery note as well, so that's all good. I spoke to them yesterday and here it is. So from yesterday morning to delivery the next day, all good. There was a question over which one was actually in here. Apparently there's a few variations, so I removed this part and managed to take a photo and sent that off to him, and he knew straight away which one it was, so that's good. So now I've got to get down in there and replace it. Okay, so this wheel here is the tensioner. It's got a large torque screw in there. If you look, this point here can rotate round to there. One of these wheels was making a bit of noise. It's not necessarily the quietest, that one. So we might take that one off and have a look, see if we can order a bearing for that. Okay, so it was just a matter of undoing those two 13mm bolts off of here and here. I did give this a slight tweak to this pipe, which is the air conditioning pipe bit, because it rubs right this part. As you can see, this pipe was quite close to it, so I just gave it a little adjustment. So yeah, that came out quite easily. Obviously you undo the 13mm, that's it there. You undo the 13mm battery cable and then just pull out the plug at the back. Yeah, after that it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so I took off that actual wheel that's on the tensioner, because that's noisy, so I'm going to change the bearings in there in the future, or to replace the tensioner if I can get. I have to buy the whole lot. I also took off the wheel to the right of that, in the middle there, because that stops the bolt that's just behind it that holds the alternator in. So I took that off as well, so I could take the bolt out from the alternator. It came out pretty easy after that. Once you took the two bolts out, undo the power, the red connector there that goes straight to the battery, and the small single plug that goes in just behind that connector that's just behind there, this connector here. So push that down and lever it out. Yeah, so basically I took off this. There's a pipe that goes across here, and this, I also took this off at one point to try and get it out. I did have to use a piece of wood to turn the tensioner wheel, to turn that round just to get it on, and I got the belt on a little bit and then just enough all the way round, but only say two, maybe one rib on the wheel, and then put it back together again, put all these pipes back on, started the car, and automatically, you know, realigned itself. So just a few things put together. You know, put the air filter unit back on. It's got a 10mm bolt down here, and you just lift this up. It's pushed into some rubber grommets at the bottom, so as you push it down it just holds it there. So yeah, so all I need to do is put this back in here. This pipe needs to go back in there like so, and then there's this pipe which goes back in there, and then it'll be done. Well, obviously tighten it up and then that'll be done. Okay, so here we are. I've just changed the alternator. Currently have 11.62 on the big battery and 12.73 on the little battery. Okay, let's see what we're getting now. The engine's running. Cable's all tangled up. We have 13.6, so that's definitely charging. 13.6, and up here 12.85 there. So it's definitely charging now. So new alternator required and a replacement battery. You know, who knows, maybe the battery, because it's 0 volts, maybe it's went short and then burnt out. So yeah, don't leave your little battery. If it's faulty, you should change it. Yeah, they're available from you know, someone like Amazon, or if you go to the auto factors, they're going to charge, you know, I was quoted £125, but they didn't have any in stock anywhere, and I got one off Amazon for about £55–56. So I recommend changing it to one of those. So change the little battery, make sure you put these back on, and there you go. Two faults, battery and alternator. Okay, so that's the saga of the battery and the alternator replacement. Hopefully it was of use. One thing I'd like to recommend is, if you don't have one, get one of these. Basically it's got a magnet on one end, and also you can get it to grab things. I must have used this 4 or 5 times on that one job. You drop a spanner, you drop a bolt, etc. Goes down onto the tray that's underneath there, and you can't see it. You know, you can put a little bend in the bottom, wiggle it around. You know, this saved me lots and lots of time. So, you know, they're fairly inexpensive, you know, less than £10. Just go and get one, because you will need it. Very, very useful. Hopefully that video was of use. The next video will definitely be of the car. Just a few final little bits just to finish this off. I have been sanding down the door and a few other bits. Effectively I've got the door, passenger door, and the bonnet to do. So yeah, and then it's build a paint booth and get on and paint. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.